Diana wiped her hands on her apron as she hurried to answer the phone. Hello! Silence. Hello, anyone there? Diana asked again. She could hear someone breathing on the other end. Just as she was about to hang up, the person spoke in a raspy and chilling voice. You are next. And then the person hung up. And was this a prank? Diane wondered as she hurried back to the kitchen. It was only a week after her son Jack was found dead, and now this. She wondered if the person who had called her was her son's murderer, but she quickly dismissed the thought. It was probably someone prank calling her, taking advantage of the fact that she had recently lost her son. When her husband came back from work, she told him about the call that he told her it was probably a prank call. The following day was a Saturday. Since Diane's husband Daniel wasn't going to work, he told Diane that he was going to make breakfast. Diane was amazed when Daniel brought a tray with pancakes and orange juice. She was halfway through her breakfast when her tummy started hurting. She tried to get it up but fell into the floor. Daniel, she shouted. She was surprised when Daniel walked into the room with a devilish smile on his face. Didn't I warn you? You are next. Daniel said this as he mercilessly stared at her. It was you, was the last thing that Diane said before she died. This is the strange lunch written by Kaiwhite. The man hated the job. The man's name was Frank. He worked at IBM in Seattle on for a 10-story building on the west side near the window. It wasn't near enough to the window that he could actually see outside. His desk being a cubicle, he didn't have a photo of the ocean on his desk. It was a photo he had taken during his trip to Greece from the previous summer. Someone was clearing the throat behind him. Frank turned slowly. Hey, would you like to come to lunch with us? Frank blinked and frowned. He had never been invited to lunch before. Lunch? Yeah, sure. Great, cheered the man as he clapped his hands down by his knees. Right now? Asked Fred. Sure, we are on our way to the new subway across the street. Okay, sure. Let me just say what I was doing. No problem, Frank. Frank turned back round in his chair, although now he was really confused. How did this guy know his name? Frank couldn't even remember seeing the man before. Perhaps the man was new and was trying to make friends. The lunch was normal aside from the fact that it was only Frank and the strange man. Frank was desperate to get an idea of what was going on but didn't want to be rude. So were the rest of the guys not able to make it today? Well, I think they may have stayed behind to catch on the next week's work. They told me this might happen. Now Frank was really confused because he knew next week was the first week of vacation. He couldn't contain himself any longer. I am so sorry, but I don't actually know who you are. I don't think I have ever seen you before. Are you new to the office? The man suddenly went red in the face. Okay, I'll be honest. I don't work for IBM. I suck and picked someone random to go to lunch with me. Okay, that makes more sense. Frank began more suddenly freezing and looking the man straight in the eye. He was beginning to sweat. Frank asked slowly and clearly. How did you know my name? Okay, I'll say it. I am a huge fan of your music. I used to follow your band in the 90s. I just want an autograph. Will you please sign this album? Frank was mortified. He had prayed that his recent baldness wouldn't prevent him from being recognized. He hadn't been asked for an autograph in 20 years. Fine, he grumbled as he signed the CD. This is written by Alexanderjo as we wind streaked. As he sat upright in his bed, he listened tentatively to the storm outside. Sheets of frigid rain pounded off the glass, racing down the pane in the front. The wind wailed as the trees strained with all their might against the powerful gusts. His curtains were almost drawn close to the gap left enough for the moonlight to shimmer through onto his bedroom floor. His therapist told him to focus on his breath, lay back and relax. His therapist, however, had not seen it. Despite the heartbeat thumping relentlessly in his chest and ears and the nervous twitching of his feet and toes, he laid back and closed his eyes, relaxed, breathed deeply and exhaled. He focused on his breath as hard as he could, and then it happened. He hadn't opened his eyes, but he knew. He could feel something penetrating and unmistakable aura of doom, of blood. Through the gap in the curtains, he saw it. It was back, pressed against the glass, its chalk white face grimaced, black soaking hair pouring down from his scalp, eyes burning and choking right him, fangs that ripped from his gums and hung over its chin. Let me in, Charlie growled with a smile. Let me in. Parallel stories by bookishmuggle. Lightning cracked the sky for a brief moment. The room lit up. In that brief moment, I saw the ghost hovering right in front of me. Our noses nearly touched. Then it was dark again. Her cold breath chilled my face. What do you want? I whispered. I want to walk the earth again. I want you to take my place. No, leave me alone. This is your problem, not mine. She stepped back. My problem? She hissed. No, this is your problem. My death was your fault. You chose to walk away that night. You should have looked both ways before you crossed the street. Maybe if you had just admitted that it was right, I wouldn't have walked away. Maybe if you hadn't ignored me at school all week, we would have had that argument. Maybe if you had supported my art, I wouldn't have ignored you. I stepped around her and walked into the door, but she appeared in front of me and blocked my path. I don't think so. You are not walking away from me. If I kill you, then you will take my place and I will take yours. My heart rate sped up as she pulled a knife out from the back of her back. Now that's not how it works. You are making a mistake. My final words were cut off by her stabbing the knife into my gut. I shut the book. I hated endings like that. I would never know if the crazy ex-girlfriend ghost had succeeded in her quest to come back to life. But the main character died anyway. What a waste, to be honest. He shouldn't have let her storm off that rainy night. She was too mad to think clearly. Even if the driver hadn't been sunk, she probably still would have gotten hit. I was bored, so I texted my girlfriend. Want to go somewhere? Half an hour later, we were sitting at a table outside a frozen yogurt shop. I just posted the next chapter to my story, Piper said. I noted and took a bite of my yogurt. That's cool. Thousands of people are reading it. That's great. Piper looked at me. You don't seem very excited. I don't know. I haven't read it because you don't want to. That was true. I just didn't understand the appeal in writing. Why would you make up a story when you could first find one and read it? It wasn't like she was going to become a best-selling author. I didn't respond. Why don't you want to read it? Papa Piper asked. I just think you spending your time writing in kind dumb. Piper dropped a spoon. Are you serious? I was taken aback by her sudden anger. Her jaws was tense and her brows were furrowed. I suppose she took my silence as confirmation. I have to go. She left her half-eaten bowl of yogurt and broke away. Papa Piper gave me the cold shoulder the next day at school, and the day after that, and the day after that. It reminded me of that book I just read. The main character's girlfriend was really into art, but he didn't support her, and then she ignored him all week at school. Maybe I should read her story. I thought it was 7 p.m. on a weekend. I had time. Next thing I knew it was 1 p.m. and I was still reading her story as I sat under my covers. It was exquisitely written, and every chapter drew me further and further into the plot. I couldn't read it fast enough. A text from Piper popped up. "We need to talk." The period told me that she meant business. I responded, then set my phone down. "Right now." My phone buzzed, and another text from Piper. "I am outside your house. Come outside." I put on a jacket to shield me from the pouring rain. It was soaked the instant I stepped out from the safety of the covered porch. I could barely see the small figure standing at the edge of the lawn through the storm. My feet made squelching noises in the grass as I crossed the lawn. What is it?" I asked her. "I think you owe me an apology." "For what?" "You have treated me badly." I scoffed. "Me? You are the one who have been ignoring me all week because you said my writing was dumb." I expected her face to light up. Instead, it twisted with anger. "So you like it now? Finally, it's about time. Why are you mad?" "Because you have never supported me until now. Because it took me starting a fight with you to finally give my story a chance." I gritted my teeth. "I have other things to do than read your story, Piper." "Like what?" Talk to other girls." I was taken aback. What are you talking about?" "I saw you talking to Lisa in the hallway yesterday." I tried to remember when I had talked to Lisa. Then it hit me. Papa Piper, she was my lab partner. It was nothing like that. I paused. Wait, you thought I was cheating on you?" "I am not that type of person." I was shocked that the thought would ever cross her mind. Piper's face somehow turned even angrier. "I don't believe you," she shouted. It likely woke up the whole street. "Look, Piper, you seem really overwhelmed. How about you come inside and you can stay the night?" I reached her. She recoiled at my touch. "No, I hate you." She stormed away from me and walked towards the street to cross it. She had parked her car on the other side. She really wouldn't have been driving in the weather, but I was too angry to care. "Fine," I turned out. The sounds of a car engine reached my ears. It sounded far away, but it was slowly getting closer. I turned round to the sight of the car going about 60 miles an hour down my neighborhood street. Path was wobbly, barely clinging to the road. The driver was clearly drunk. "Piper, wait!" I called after her. She continued her march into the street, ignoring me, or could she just not hear me? I wasn't sure. It was difficult to hear anything over the rain, but I still heard the squeal of the tires and the smack of the Piper body landing on the pavement. I could barely see anything through the buckets falling from the sky, but I could still see her broken form in a heap. Was 20 feet away from the stopped car, clearly visible in the dim street light. I booked on the spot. My parents came out at some point. and saw me dry heaving on the porch. My mom tried to get me the drink, some ginger tea to help my stomach, but I couldn't stop staring at Piper's body, and that was the last time I saw her. That is when she was alive, of course. I hope you guys got it. I am sorry for not posting as much. School started again and it was been an adjustment. I hope you liked the story. I have another one coming soon. It's about a dragon.